The latest episode from Outlander is out, and we got Building a Future, Native Culture, and a mind-blowing revelation that's setting up a delicious plot development. Let's go. Outlander Season 4, Episode 4, Common Ground. Hey guys, it's Marsha, and welcome to Really Seriously For Real. Going into this episode, I wasn't sure what to expect. Knowing the Cherokee Nation would be introduced, I hope it would be done in a respectful fashion and not some cartoonish reveal where the Frasers are their saviors. And Roger. Last week, Roger's 0 to 60 anger really bothered me, so I wish the show could give me a bridge of understanding. Let's begin. I appreciated that the episode title card highlighted the Cherokee warriors, and you hear only the drums, not the usual instrumental version of the Outlander theme song. In fact, can we give a shout out to Bear McQuarrie, please? Because I felt like the music really stood out in this episode. It set the mood and captured the spirit of the time. Although I guess that's what it's supposed to do. We open in the office of the governor, where Jamie is signing his land ownership papers with pride, marred only a bit by the governor when he insinuated to Jamie that the quote-unquote right people should take residence in Jamie's land. 10,000 acres. I was a little jealous until they were showing the montage of them clearing out their own land by hand. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, and I absolutely admire those early settlers and tribes that literally paved the way for many to come. But wow, when you think about what it took, we bought our first home this summer and we're doing our own renovations. Needless to say, we're not done, but power tools are where it's at. Anywho, they also made sure to pick up many provisions while they were in town, like meat and such, so they have enough to last. Before they set off, there was a nice scene between Marcelly and Claire, one that actually managed to get me choked up. Marcelly shared how much she misses her mom, especially now that she's pregnant. She shares how scared she is to be a mom and tells Claire that she's the only healer that she would have by her side. My, how far these two have come. And that's what made the moment even sweeter. And wow, Lauren Lyle, she really knocked that one home. I don't know, maybe I was missing my mom, but I had to wipe a tear or two. A bit later, Jamie recognized that the conversation hit Claire especially hard because it made her think about Brianna and what her life would be without her. Jamie comforts her, citing Brianna will cling to her memory of Claire like he did when she was gone. Maybe we shouldn't tell Claire about the Dunbonnet years. So off they go to begin mapping out their land. Claire was so happy. She was quoting lines from My Country, 'Tis of Thee, and I was waiting for her to start twirling around the mountain like Julie Andrews in The Sound of Music. Not making fun. The Sound of Music is one of my favorite movies. I would have been twirling around that mountain. Have your fun, Claire, because that was short-lived when the group of Cherokee warriors showed up. I really loved how the scene was structured. The men spread out ahead and Jamie and Ian faced front, but Claire had them at her back, so she couldn't see who it was until she finally turned around. Nothing worse than everyone else can see what was going on, but you can't. It's like hearing a loud noise in your house and you yell downstairs to the kids, "What was that?" And they say, "Nothing." Anyway, Claire slips Jamie a knife and he slowly approaches the men and drops the knife with his arms raised. Gradually, the Cherokee leave, and all appears well until they return the next day and angrily toss the fence post at their feet. The warriors shout at them in their native tongue, no subtitles. But did we really need it? I understood. You ever heard this saying, "I don't care where you go, but you need to get the heck out of here"? That's what they were saying. Let's take a breather and head on over to the 20th century, where forlorn Roger is off feeling sad in Cambridge in 1971. So quite some time has passed since the famed proposal. He's milling around in the book that Brianna gave him and stumbles on a mention of a place called Fraser's Ridge. Digging further, he wrote to the author who supplied him with the land deed, and eureka! Confirmation that Claire made it back to Jamie. Did she ever? Now he has the perfect excuse to call Brianna. So he does. And she's all googly-eyed and he's all awkward. And Bree's friend Gail is all like, get it, girl. And then he tells her the news of her mother. And of course, she's overjoyed. Score one, Roger. But then that's it. He tells her he needs to grade some papers or something and ends the call. Geez, Roger, I'm going back to the 1700s. So Claire and Jamie are still building away, mapping their property, practicing their gunplay, foreshadowing the need for it later. That night, Rollo starts barking, so they all go investigate. They find meat that they had hung in the air previously had been taken, and the remaining posts around their property were dumped in a pile. They initially blamed it all on the Cherokee until one of their horses showed up with claw marks on its belly. That, and likely the stolen meat, was due to a bear. In the comments, someone wondered if we'd see Jamie fight a bear. Well, we'll get to that. The following day, Jamie speaks with John Quincy Myers in hopes that he could help them figure out a way to peace with the Cherokee. Myers offers him a portion of his tobacco that he could trade with the tribe, deciding instead it would be best if he spoke on Jamie's behalf since he knows them. Yeah. Put in a good word for the Frasers, please. Myers also tells Jamie that the Cherokee have mentioned a bear, though they called it the skiliona. Yona means bear, but skili, he didn't know, except it's bad news. Raise your hand if you love John Quincy Myers. He's so nice, offering to help them, and he even gave them some meat to help replace what they lost. Genuine, nice guy. And no one better come up in the comments talking about, in the book, he's the evil mastermind behind the stones either, okay? I'm convinced he's the good guy. So, next night, Rollo sneaks off and you hear him barking in the distance. The scene is smattered with images of the Cherokee involved in some type of ceremony. I wondered if they were conjuring something that could harm Claire, Jamie, and Ian. Our friends venture out in the darkness once more and find my new favorite mountain man bleeding in the darkness with claw marks down his chest. Not cool! Skiliona, he repeats over and over again. At first, I was just like, why do you just say bear? Everyone there speaks English. What if Jamie forgot that means bear? And 2 words is a lot of effort if you're bleeding out. But then I realized John saw that it wasn't a bear, and skiliona was the easiest way to describe it. Like, yes, I understand what that skili part meant now, but Jamie doesn't. He's charged off to look for the bear, knowing if he doesn't handle it now, that so-called bear will just continue to bother them all. And find him he does, just as Claire realizes John was assaulted by a man. Jamie fought this man bear in the dark of the woods and wins after getting him with one of the wooden stakes that plotted his land. He literally defended his territory. After this, we see Jamie dragging the man bear to the village of the Cherokee. Which, you can't tell me this tribe didn't have a lookout ready to warn of approaching invaders. No, instead Jamie just waltzes in there with the man bear, and the Cherokee are actually startled, like, how did you get in here? I doubt that very seriously. Anywho, it turns out this man bear was casted out of their village after he forced himself on his wife. He basically went mad and lived the life of a bear, constantly terrorizing their village. But they couldn't take him out because you can't kill what doesn't exist. Okay. So, next day, the chief visits Fraser's Ridge and proclaims Jamie Yona Dihi, or Dahi, or Yona. Okay, bear killer. Sorry. Excellent work, Jamie. Jamie invites them to join them, and Claire meets Gidua and her grandmother, Adowehi, who had a dream about Claire. A beautiful story acknowledging her gift as a healer. A gift both Claire and Adowehi share. She tells her she has medicine now, but she'll have more when her hair is white like snow. Which makes me rethink if she would perish anytime soon. But she goes on to cryptically say that she should not be troubled. Death is sent from the gods. It will not be your fault. Claire doesn't understand, nor do I, and Gidua and Adowehi say no more. Now, on to the fun killer, Roger. Kidding. He's over at Fiona's picking up some more boxes, and she's going all Mrs. Doubtfire on Roger, imparting her wisdom, and then drops this juicy tidbit. She knew that Claire went through the stones to find Jamie. Roger is all shocked and shaken, and she's like, my granny was a druid and danced at the stones. Not to mention the walls are super thin. Score 1 for Fiona. But then she goes to her drawer and pulls out some old documents that belong to her granny. They show that Jamie and Claire die in a fire in their home, but the date is smudged. So while he knows it will happen in the 1770s, he doesn't know exactly when. For all he knows, it can happen a couple years after signing the land deed. After lamenting for a bit whether he should tell Brianna and break her heart, he finally decides to call. Gail answers with her four-legged friend, which is producer Meryl Davis's doggie. Gail tells Roger that Brianna wasn't there and that she went to see her mom in Scotland. When Roger asks when, Gail says a couple of weeks ago. Oh boy, that can only mean one thing. Brianna must have found out about the death of her mom and dad and went through the stones because a couple of weeks have gone by and no word from her. Yeah, this is it, folks. So my final thoughts. This was the best episode so far, I think. It was well-rounded, giving us moments of genuine fun and overwhelming splendor to danger and depth. The characters explored were given ample moments to shine, and you felt you had enough of a breather where you could get to know them all, like my new favorite character, John Quincy Myers. Or watching Claire, Jamie, and Ian carve out the land and see how excited they were. And that was great. It was even nice to see Marcelly and Fergus given a decent word to say, something with depth. As for Roger and Brianna, I like how you're only seeing things from Roger's perspective, piecing the puzzle together with him. He wasn't my favorite last episode, but they're setting up a comeback for him. Lastly, bravo on the Native Americans. They used Canadian First Nation performers and gave them a rich and stoic appeal. My only issue was the cryptic and unexplained ritual they did during the bear scene that seemed to just be in there without explaining the real purpose, like it was just for show. If you're gonna show me, you gotta tell me. And I also thought it was crazy that Jamie walked into their village without anyone seeing him. But it's an improvement. Alright, question of the day. Should Jamie have fought a real bear or a man bear? Comment down below and on anything in the episode. Then hit the thumbs up to tell me you liked it. For good measure, subscribe and click the bell so you're always notified when I upload a video. Thanks for watching. Until next time.